All right, we are. Oh, excuse me. We are live, back again on episode 20. Can you believe it? The Let's Build a Web App live episode 20. Around 40 hours of content of building a production level full stack JavaScript application. First 20 episodes have been all about the front end. And this episode is no different, but I would say by episode 25, we will be diving into the back end, which is pretty cool, where we're going to be building a Node TypeScript MongoDB application in the back end to create our APIs, our routes. We're going to actually build a separate CRUD tool with a front end to make it easy to update that. So we'll be doing that, and so there'll technically be 3 applications we have by the end of this project, where we're going to have the main web app, which is going to be displayed. We will then have the CRUD tool in terms of like an admin tool for front end, and then we'll have the APIs that the CRUD tool updates and that the API or the CRUD tool manages, and the API shifts it, sends the data to the front end of our web apps. So we're gonna have 3 completely separate web apps that are gonna be doing that, and pretty cool stuff, right? So before we get going in today, what we're gonna be doing is I've been putting off doing some of the mobile items because I haven't really want to think about it. So we're gonna think about it and we're gonna do it today, and that's what we're gonna do. But before we can do that, let's talk about the new hotness right here. This hot and new. The new hotness here. You can get it for just $9.99, the 100 front-end interview questions challenge. My latest course. People are really liking it. As you can see, I got 1 hater in there, but the rest are doing pretty well. It's got a 4.7 rating, which ain't too shabby if I do say myself. And you can get it for just $9.99 using coupon code CodingGod, or use the link in the description below. You're saying, I think I'm okay on those front-end technical screens, but I'd like some whiteboard practice. Check out the 100 algorithm challenge, which has 100 different algorithms for you to work through. So with that being said, guys, let's take a look at our Trello board and get our day started here. So this video component, the support component, these are things that we need to come back to. And I just remembered I need to update our add component. Another aspect of this project is we're probably going to manually ship our application first, but I am going to put a item here about building a DevOps pipeline for the web app at the very least, the API. But that'll be something that we end up doing down the road as well. But today, what I'd like to do is I'm just going to edit this, and I handled that. I did the offline online mode, so we're done with that. I do want to update our with breakpoint variables. Add to home, review web manifest splash screen. We'll come back to that. Pull to refresh. We'll come back to that. Get mobile mocks I'm not actually going to get mocks mobile responsiveness, and this shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I think it's going to take pretty much this entire thing, but I think we're pretty good. So let's just do a quick look, see if there's anything we want to bring to the front. Light theme. I honestly think we're just going to archive this. I don't really right now. Welcome back, files for LLC. That's some stuff we don't need to do on stream. Looking to open collective, HTML emails, IE. This would be kind of fun about pulling up. So I have no interest in actually supporting Internet Explorer, and I want the user to even know that. Shift tabs left. Oh, I remember that. This little change log page. Come up with catchy site one-liner. I did. I didn't put it on the home page though. Translation setup, comment section, green notification, model is not centered. All right, cool. So now we've done that. Before we get going, what I want to do is I forgot to add it on here because my graphic designer didn't put it in there. But there's one small thing I wanted to add to my balsamic, that I put in balsamic. I'm bringing up balsamic so I can show you. But I had this join our Facebook group, and I want to add that to our share thing that you could see. It's clearly that my designer forgot to do. But, you know, when you pay $7 for a mock, some things are going to get dropped through the cracks. what does add fonts to the app and not URL mean? So it simply refers to, so like any assets that you know you're going to use, you should just put it into your bundle, because then you're not depending on a third-party library. So in our case, we're using, let me go, I think in here. In our case, you can see we're loading up Montserrat and Railway fonts from a URL, from a Google Fonts URL. So what I want to do instead, so I want to download these fonts, put them directly into the application, and then bundle them into our styles CSS. So we're not having to hit a third party. That's all it means. Download locally those fonts and put it in there. I just haven't got around to it. All right, cool. So as always, before we start our application, I want to run our test. So that's going to launch the test. And while that's going, we're going to go ahead and, where are we? Video docs. Let's get bash here. Oh my goodness. I just realized I have to go to the bathroom. How embarrassing. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, and then we're going to hack out stuff for like 5 hours. All right. All right, cool. So from what I can tell, all your tests are passing. Let's. All right. It's gonna launch browser preview. From our category, we have a. When to use a JavaScript framework and when not to. Nowadays, you're pretty much always going to use a framework, like professionally. Now, when not to, I mean, if you just have a static page, like in terms of static content, like something's not going to change or whatnot, but that's pretty much the only use case. I have found that even with those static things that you build, oftentimes the scope of them grow rather rapidly, and then you have to convert it over, which isn't that huge of a deal. But that would be what I would suggest. So app sidebar, that's what we're looking for. So let's start there. This will be something easy that we can update. Oops. You got fired 3 weeks ago. I'm tired of interviews, so I'm relaxing. I know. Hey, man. Why'd you get fired? So /category /Java script /array /topic /map. Okay, so that's what we want to update. I don't have a Discord. Maybe I should. A lot of guys ask for it. In our sidebar, we'll go ahead and create a new component here. It's going to be relatively small, but I mean, it keeps this nice and clean. So we'll create a new folder here. We'll call it FB group. We'll just call it Facebook-group. Well, sounds like you got off the hook without having to worry about that crap. Just picked up clean code. So far, it looks like it's going to be very helpful. Yes, I'd also highly recommend the Clean Coder. There's a link in the description below. You can help me out with like a 3% affiliate cut. But I recommend every single group of devs reads that. I just recommended this to a colleague of mine who's been struggling with how to interact with the business and has been stressed out beyond belief. And after reading that, his stress levels have gone down significantly, and he is much more prepared of dealing with a lot of what it means to be a software engineer. Is Angular easier or React easy for beginners? It's all easy once you understand what's going on. Whether you use it properly or not is a whole different subject. Should you dive into like Udemy courses and free code camp? I think so. You should complete one at a time and keep doing it, but you always want to learn from multiple resources. Do you know that Udemy courses can be hacked? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Facebook group component. All right, now let's go to our category module. Hold off on the really important stuff for 5 minutes. No worries, Bay. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to find just some quick little tests that on here. I don't imagine this component's going to grow in scope, but we can at least just say, hey, it exists. Really, these are just our starter, test. What's my age? I am 31 years old. I'll be 32 in October. It's kind of crazy because time flies, man, when you're grinding. Alright, so that should fix our test. Looks like you're my dad. I don't even know what you're trying to say right now. Alright, so let's look at our mock real quick. Alright, we're going to have this nice little box and a Facebook icon and a little comment here. So, let's start there. Has a receding hairline started worrying you? No. So I got my, I don't know where I got my hairline, but so one of my I guess I got it from my dad's side. On my dad's side, my grandfather had a full set of hair, and on my mother's side, my grandfather looked like Red from that '70s show. So he definitely was he definitely lost his like he had that sort of hairline going on. So what ended up happening? Real quick, let's go get the we're gonna use the same icon here. But yeah, so what ended up happening was my brother got my mother's, looks much more like my mother, and I look more like my father. So my hairline's fine, but my brother's hairline has been receding. And he's my younger brother. My younger brother's hairline has been receding since he was, God, maybe 21. So is this something I'd worry about? No. But I tell you what, if I was losing my hair, the only way you gotta do what Matt did, man. You gotta shave it off. You can't just have the patch. My poor brother's been wearing a bandana and like hats for the last 5 years. And it's like, look, you have to shave it off and rock it and just get super buff. That's the only way that you pull it off. That's just the name of the game, man. All right, so we want this to go right below app support. So this will be app dash Facebook dash group. All right, there's our Facebook icon. Do you get asked to write polyfills for promise, map, reduce? I have been asked to do a rewrite map. I haven't been asked to rewrite promise, although I imagine I would just use set timeout. And deep cloning objects. I got asked the other day what's the difference between a shallow copy and a deep copy, and I couldn't answer it. I still don't know. I should look it up. Uh, all right, I'm gonna close this and just open up on my side monitor here, because it's getting hard. It's hard for me to do this effectively because it's on the side and I don't feel like moving it over. Cool. So we have our Facebook icon now. The thing I think I want to do here is put a on this div, and actually let's just give it an ID. We'll call it hashtag Facebook -group. All right, and we'll do border MPX solid green. All right, cool. And now we'll have to go get our styles. I think there should be some variables in here. What microphone am I using? This is the Blue Yeti. Oops. All right, cool. There's that. All right, next thing we want to do on Facebook group, add some padding of like 10 pixels. That's looking solid. Let me look something up real quick. Is it just a I imagine you could just use border. Yeah. God, I don't really like that though. It feels so boot. Oh well. Alright. So we do something like this. So on our padding here, we'll go ahead and say margin dash right 10 pixels, and then we'll do something like this. Border dash radius. Excuse me, border 2px solid white. Border dash right. Excuse me. Problem with that is that doesn't look like what I want it to look like. If you don't know how to do that, how do you tackle it? So the best thing you can do is just, so when I don't know the answer, and there's been times where I just don't know the terminology, is I say I'm not quite sure what that means, but if I had to guess, if I had to make an educated guess, this is what I think it means, and then I would answer a very similar question. I work on Windows. in here, grid dash template columns, and then we'll do 1FR, 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 grid dash gap 10 pixels, and then we have our icon, then we have our bar, and then we'll have a paragraph here that says, what did I have the content say? Join our Facebook group. I wasn't expecting that to wrap. Oh. Do you guys know how often it is that I've forgotten to put display grid in my grid container? So we're going to make that auto, and then 1FR. All right, and let's go ahead and take the padding off. And then on our bar, we will do border dash right. 2px solid green. All right. We want to align our item center. Wait, why did that get rid of my border? Height 90%. Let's see if that solves it. There we go. Let's make that like 70%. All right, that looks better. See, we're getting there. We're almost there. I know you guys haven't been seeing me do this. I'm more comfortable with CSS Grid. I honestly haven't used FlexFlex too much. I've played around with it, but I just use CSS Grid because with the grid template areas, you can really juggle things a lot better if you need to make something a little bit more dynamic. It also controls vertical and horizontal in one, which Flexbox typically flexes in one direction or the other. Okay, let's go ahead on our Facebook group and put that padding back on here. So maybe on top we do 5 pixels and on the side we do 10. All right, cool. Let's go to our all right, so we got it looking all right. I mean, I don't know if these color schemes, I got to talk with Ricky to see if this color scheme makes sense for it to be on here. But we might change these color schemes around. Before we move forward, let's go ahead and I got to go to Facebook and get this link. $79 people want to join this group. What happened? No, I am a working professional. I do not do drugs. And I would encourage you not to either, especially until you get your life together. People who encourage you to make bad choices, it'll make you focus better. How many of these people don't have jobs? How many of these people don't have their stuff together? That's all. Okay, now that we've done that, I got the group link. Go back to here. let's go ahead and just wrap this. I guess we could wrap join our Facebook group. I'm just trying to think where what's the expected functionality? Is the expected functionality that I click anywhere on here and it joins? I think if I click this or I click this, it's expected. So I think this is what we'll do. If I click an icon or I click our paragraph. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, man, I can tell you how to be a good developer, and my actions and my success proves it. Now, I can't tell you how to get a six-pack, and you shouldn't listen to me because I don't have a six-pack anymore, anyhow. Dude, I'm on that hustle, Kasan. You know I'm about that life, man. On that grind. It's like Cat Williams says, man. You gotta have yourself a hustle. Cool. All right. Sweet. I was just waiting to do something like this. I still need to touch this up. I think I'm gonna put these back into a color scheme, but no, Facebook doesn't capitalize that B. What am I doing? I have to holler at Ricky later today and see how he feels about this. All right, so let's go ahead and commit this real quick. All right, cool. Obligations and starvation might be a good motivator. I tell people all the time, man, the thing that got me to learn code was just being unbelievably broke, miserable, and unhappy. And I just couldn't do it anymore. There's definitely a truth to, if you can hit your rock bottom, man, everyone's rock bottom's different. You'll find out real quick. What it is that you can do to motivate yourself. And so, like, you just have to, a lot of people are just, they're still sort of content. They've accepted that they are going to be bad with money. They've accepted they're going to be bad with their weight. They've accepted that they're going to be bad and hate their job. They've accepted these things. And you have to get angry. Yeah. Excuse me. All right, cool. So now that we've done that, we're going to start breaking this out to be a little bit more mobile friendly. It should go pretty quickly because there's really only two things that I want to change. First off, this. So I think I already did it for recommended books. Yeah, I did. So we got to fix recommended courses. And then we have to fix our playlist like so. So what we're going to do is when we hit a certain width on mobile, I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it underneath, and it's going to be a vertical playlist with scroll. Let's start with courses first, because these images I think are hard-coded widths. This is something I did just because I just want to get it in there. I also need to connect this to an API. All right. Let me look at that real quick again. I'm just thinking if this content needs to shift around at all, but I think I think with the structure of it as it is, all we need to do is shift these under each other. So that should be fine. Okay. So let me go look something up real quick. God, I always forget how to do this. There, find in folder. Wait, somewhere else. It's max width, that's what it is. I always get this backwards. Okay, so we have our media query. And what we want to happen hey Dylan, what's up? Can I ask how difficult is it to find an entry-level job without a degree in the US? It seems like everywhere in the EU expects you to have a degree, so I wonder how they compare. A lot of companies in the US expect you to have a degree, but on paper, and they'll still interview you. I've interviewed for roles with 10 years of experience when I've had 2. So you really just have to be able to impress them with your knowledge, your skills, your dedication, your projects, and stand out in other ways. You can't go to the table with all things being equal and they have a degree and expect that you're going to beat them out. What you have to do is you don't have a degree, but you got this, this, and this, and now things aren't equal and you're a much better candidate. Did I see Tech Lead's video about his wife leaving him? I did. I watched it yesterday. My initial thoughts, based off of his video, I don't want to sound harsh, is that the way that he sounded like he handled things was he would just he'd do something wrong, take his wife for a seafood dinner, or buy her a necklace, instead of addressing the issue. So I don't think his success or him being too dedicated to programming had anything to do with it. I think just from the way he described how he tried to handle conflicts, is he just didn't know how to do it. Didn't know, and a lot of people aren't gonna hold you. And I say that as somebody who completely has the same issue at times. And sometimes, April gets frustrated with me and just says, "Why? This is how you should have responded." And I say, "Okay, I didn't get that." Do you have a link to the source code for this project? No. And I don't say that to be harsh, but that was the first thing I thought of when he just said that he just basically threw money whenever him and his wife had issues. And it's like, of course that's not going to work. All right, let's see if this solved this. All right, so here we are here, and at a certain around, see that width pixels, we're getting close, around 7. I think we're gonna, like, this doesn't look good either. So I think we're gonna have this transition over earlier also. So let's jump to books, and then we're gonna have to fix this. This looks like dog shit. That's not what we want. So let's. Yeah, and I don't mean to sound harsh with them and whatnot. And he's going through, especially, I'm not trying to kick him while he's down, but on the way that he handles sound, by the way he described, and mind you, he's in a very vulnerable emotional state. Maybe he didn't do the best job. The way that he described how he handled his personal situation. To me, it just sounded like he just tried to throw money at things, and that he thought that was a good solution. And I didn't even get the impression that he thought that it wasn't a good solution too, just that it hadn't worked out for him. That was probably the scariest part of that whole thing, is that I still think he thinks that that's just going to be the way that he's going to tackle things, instead of, making changes. So, okay, cool. So this is much better. We didn't have that wonky. I'm going to get rid of the tablet. So basically we're going to have a tablet and then a view, and then we're going to have desktop view, and we're just going to let that handle itself. And then we're going to have to fix this spacing issue. But you can see that. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. All right, and now that we've done that, my headset's dying. Dude, I just wish someone would create me a headset that can hold a charge for like 3 weeks. I'm so sick of having to charge my headset. Yeah. Okay, so this looks fine, but even if this took up more width, you can't see where this starts and where this one ends. So there might be something fundamentally flawed with our... Are these two different colors? They are, aren't they? 399. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So we're probably gonna have to change the UI look a little bit, but let's just start with the gimme of we're gonna make this image stretch the whole width. So currently, if we go to image, the width is 100%. Oh, I see the placeholders coming in as 320 by 180, so we want to make that slightly bigger. Where do we get that? I think I just put a placeholder in, right? Let's go to course. Yeah. So we'll make this 640 by 360. Oh, 6,400. I was like, what happened? And in our case, let's go back to our image. We're going to probably have to play around with the CSS a little bit here. Is there not a container on this? Like, there should be a container that doesn't let this go any bigger. All right, so we're going to set a max width of about half of that because that's what I liked it at. Let's see, play around with it here. All right, so instead of 100%, we'll say our max width is 180 pixels. I just wonder if I should. Is it okay to put your self-learning projects about? For your own experience? Yeah, if you do it right. I just hear my girlfriend yelling at the dogs out there. All right, so for this image, like, there's gotta be some sort of content. There is, right? So why is this getting so big? Let me go. Sorry, I gotta find out why I'm almost positive I put a container around this whole thing. Yeah. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why isn't our items staying within the container? So we have a max width here, and it's breaking out of our container. Why would that happen? All right. When making a portfolio, you can use tutorials like this one to get hired. What do you mean tutorials? Like, hey, I watched Dylan's 40-hour thing. All right, so let's just confirm that the issue here is actually the courses component. And the way that we're going to confirm that is I'm going to go to our our category component. And I am going to simply comment out courses and see if everything shrinks down to the expected. Yep. So it's definitely the images. So you can see now that if we go to our app root, so we have our app root and then we have our site container. Our site container is like the main thing, and then we have within here our app side nav and then our main. So you can see everything's lining up. So we need to just gonna reset this. We need to figure out what is going on in our app courses that's CSS wise. Do I make a staging and production environment with a new project like this? No. You can do all that later on if you feel like you're gonna need it, but right now it's not even remotely necessary. All right, so So I'm gonna start playing around with this real quick. See if we can get this CSS to work. In the meantime, you get a giant close-up of my forehead. Was that all it took? Shit. It was because I put a section. I messed it up. Actually, that's not right. Oh yeah. Way too big. All right. Could I essentially use this project for my own portfolio? Probably wouldn't be advised considering you didn't build this project. Honestly, it's not gonna. Nothing's impressive about you copying somebody's work and saying that you learned it. It's better than nothing. But take what you're learning, then apply it to. God. Just making a web app, a progressive web app, improve performance. It depends on what you do with your client-side caching, but it can. I don't understand how it's container. Like, you can see the container. So I hard-coded the container here, which should. Why does it still think we're referencing a section? Oh, that's the, 1 second. You're ordering the book list, you say? Good stuff. Start with the clean coder, clean code. That'd be where I would start. And as well as the complete software developer's career guide. Oh, snaps. You know what probably happened? If that worked like that, we have something in here that's causing issues. So our image is with inside details, and then we also have an image within course. I see. That's what happened. We never targeted image. There we go. Got it. Okay. God, the padding on that looks quite extensive, if I do say so myself. Well, I'm not sure what I did to increase the padding so much, but on our card, just because I changed these to divs. Let's go to our card body real quick. There we go. Actually, no. All right, cool. All right, so now our website is displaying how we would expect it to display. Very nice. This is responsive and taking up the amount of screen that it should be. So we fixed that little bug. All right. Fixed our card. Now we're in our courses, and we need to get back to what our original goal here was to make our courses responsive and transition over. Why is that? Because I changed this to courses container. Cool. And you can see it transitioned just nicely. All right. What do you think about Joshua Fluke saying he never really cared about coding? He was just doing it purely for the money. I don't think he said he was purely doing it for the money. He picked it up because of the lifestyle. He wanted a skill set that paid well, had good jobs, and gave him the ability to work remote. Like he said, he never practiced outside of work. I feel if he could have got better, been more passionate, would have got higher quality jobs. Yeah. So part of the reason I think he had such a bad experience was because he pretty much exclusively worked at startups, which are known to crash and fail, and are very high stress. I would never recommend anyone working at a startup. Having worked at smaller companies and larger companies, you get better benefits, better pay. They're, in terms of expectations, they're more realistic about what you can actually get done. So you typically want to avoid that if you can. All right, cool. But now we have an issue here where this doesn't look too good. So what we want to do is add, when we're here, let's add like a grid dash gap of 10 pixels. Break that out a little bit. That looks good. Could even be a little bit more, I think. Let's do like 15 pixels. Yeah. But he's right. He's right about everything he says. Like, if you're dependent upon somebody else for your success, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Oh, that looks so much better. Let's do that. Yeah, we're gonna lower that H3. So let's go to our courses component. That's H3, so a little bit way too big. So let's try an H4. A little bit smaller. We might have to change something in our SAS. Yeah. That looks a little bit better. In a paragraph, just do margin 0. I'm dependent on designers. Me too, man. in this case, what I want to do is I want to, where's our div? So I want to, so line items center? No, justify items. Justify content center, align content. God damn it, which one is it that? All right. So in our case here, we're going to want to bring this center. It looks much better than something like this, right, on mobile. There you go. That's a little bit better. All right. Yeah, I haven't really put too any time into design. I'm not saying I shouldn't. I just haven't put any time into it. Gotta make that cleaner. What if someone zooms in at 500%? You know what I'm saying? Are we there yet? We're getting there, son. All right, cool. All right. Now that we've done that and we've done this, you know what we could even do? Because, I mean, this looks like a lot of real estate. We could actually float this. Looking at this now, and let's just put this like on Pixel 2 XL. We could float this to the other side. So like, what would that look like? So this. So if we did that, courses container, then our course. So look at the HTML and CSS over here. So we have our course, which currently It's one after the other. So if we did hashtag course, then we did people checking out that course. Flexbox is definitely much more popular than CSS Grid. I think it's like 50-1 last I checked, but organizations use what they want to use. I like CSS Grid. And, all right, so each course, I'm going to make display grid dash. Yeah, this is fine. So the issue we're gonna have I think this is fine. The issue we're gonna have is one. I've absolutely yeah, we're gonna have to do something about this. We can't take up this real estate on mobile. We'll figure something out. But first things first, let's go ahead and make this playlist shoot underneath. So let's do a commit. Yeah, so I won't even work at a place that uses Bootstrap because it typically just means that the developers haven't worked in something that has you don't know how to do media queries, you don't know how to do basic front end. So I won't even work at a place I'm not interested because I'm not gonna get any better. I'm gonna get worse. Okay, so all right, what we want to do now. Is we want to go to our playlist component. Okay, so a couple things that we're gonna do. One is we're not actually gonna change. This has to change in our our container, which if we go to category component.html, we just have here. So this is where we have to edit this. Streaming EU times. Happy days. Happy days. All right. While we're at it, we have a video container in 2 spots, don't we? Alright, so nothing should change. Cool. Yeah. And this is why, like, people ask me, like, Dylan, why do why are you so anti-Bootstrap? Why are you so anti-jQuery? Because as someone who has worked in the field, let me tell you, people don't learn shit unless you take an absolute path with them. Like, you have to be so aggressive about getting better and forcing people to get better, or they just stay garbage. And who wants to work with people like that? Who wants to be around that? So you have to put out what you expect. You have to set expectations. And sometimes you have to have a black and white stance. I give the example, like, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I don't necessarily agree with his stance on, like, you can't have credit cards. A lot of people use credit cards and pay the monthly balance every single time, never pay interest, and just gain their cash back. I have a 2% cash back card. I get 2% back on everything. And so I agree with most of what he's saying, but I understand why he takes such an extreme stance. The idea being that so many people are so poor with money that you have to take that stance and give no wiggle room because people are insane. That's just it. So, all right, so in our video container, let's just bring this down here. So, just so we can see what's going on. Okay, so now we've done this, we're gonna do a grid dash template columns, 1FR. So what should happen is that this will become this. Cool. All right, but we want this to have. Now when we come to here, we want to say width to 100%. Credit helps though. You shouldn't need to borrow money. You're living beyond your means if you're borrowing money. All right, so now the discussion becomes, when we hit this sort of break point, do we want to create it to go across? And I kind of think we do. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool, but at the same time, it's kind of a lot of hassle. I think we also will set the max height of this to be something shorter. How many different media queries do you have to do for each page? Typically it's just one. What happened here? So it's not necessarily by page. It's oftentimes because we're doing it by component. The page itself will have media queries, obviously, but all right. So this is fine. We're gonna come back to this video in a second. Now what we have to do is decide decide how we want this to be. So I think we're going to take this out, and this will actually be different inserts in the page. So like we'll have an ad. I don't know. Ugh. I don't want to do this. How does W3 Schools do it? All right, so So they just straight up throw a fucking banner ad right at the top. That's legit. Yeah, and they inject it piece by piece as you go down the page. So what they end up doing, you have a credit card which you use, which you're building up credit. What do I need credit for when I can pay cash for everything? And that really should be the goal, right? All right, so next thing we need to do is break our component out piece by piece, or break this out piece by piece, because obviously what good is it going to do if you don't see this, right? So right below here, add. It's a great user experience so far, guys. You got to figure this video situation. I got to do some offline research about YouTube video embeds to make it responsive. Because right now it's not the case. Do I mentor any junior developers at work? To a degree. What makes a good one? What makes a bad one? Well, a good one wants to get better. A bad one thinks that you're just paying the ass. All right, cool. Let's check this out. Oh my god. Click the device. No, I get that. Just wondering, because I need to do a custom one, and this guy seems to have figured out a way to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark this, come back to it. I've been meaning to make something responsive. Right now it's just injecting an iframe. All right, so we cleaned up our books, we cleaned up our courses, and turn the fan on. What we're gonna do next, I think, is the playlist is fine as is. But I think what we'll do is now we'll go ahead and do you want to inject an ad right here? I kind of don't want to be so ad heavy, but we can definitely break up part of this. I don't know, man. I just don't even know what to do with this. Is there anything else I wanted to work on before as we continue to work on mobile responsiveness? Okay, cool. This is fine as is. This is fine as is. Documents. I did want to clean up the about page. So we started something here, and then we apparently broke something in the process. Do I ever use Flexbox? Rarely. I don't really want to do the about page. That's no fun. Let's finish up this. All right, let's go to Balsamic real quick. So let's assume I had these ads in, and I don't because they won't approve me. So let's duplicate this. And this is... Alright, so this is somewhat close to what it was that we were trying to get across. So let's actually delete that. Alright, so this is close to what we were trying to do. So we'll create a duplicate, and we'll rename this mobile. All right. So let's go to our mobile phone. All right, things that are gonna stay as is. Is this free? It's free to students, more or less. So let's bring this over here. All right, so now that we've done that, okay, so let's just lock this iPhone real quick. So I think what we do here is I think we transition this nav. And then you click on it and it comes across, right? All right, we've already decided that. Let's bring this to the front. All right, we can delete all this. We'll have a different screen. Project, edit, unlock all. All right, so how does our mobile footer look like? If we go to mobile, does it look okay? I don't look that bad. Doesn't fit right now, but what is that margin on the end? All right, so we may have to revisit the footer as well. I think what our footer is going to look like. This is called balsamic, what I'm using. So let's go top to bottom. All right, cool. And then we can have an ad. Isn't the hamburger better on the right side? I don't know. I've never really thought about it. How do people normally do hamburger menus? Like if I go to, I don't know, Gmail, for instance. I go to inspect. It's on the left side right there. What happens if I go to Udemy? It's on the left side right here. I don't know UI UX. I was the first one to tell you that. I just go based off what other people are doing. So I go here. Let's go Trello. Do they have a hamburger menu? So typically what I've seen is you have your hamburger menu on the left-hand side, but you might have an optional profile or settings thing on the right-hand side. That's what I've been seeing. So I think that's the approach we're going to go, but all this can change. I'll be talking with Ricky, who does UI UX, after this later today. Okay. So I think what we want to do is bring this to the front. So we'd have an ad here. And then we would have a playlist. Okay. So far, I think that looks fine. Also, that Alright, so let's rename this. So this would be category mobile video. And then duplicate this. And then we'll rename this to share. Alright, so once you are done, let's go and delete this. We'll just bring all this down. Alright, let's delete this. Oops. Bring that to the top. So this is called balsamic. So once we do that, the way our breadcrumbs work right now is they don't stay where they're at. I think we want them to stay where they're at. I think we want to make it fixed. I think there's a benefit to our breadcrumbs being fixed. Let's go into our Trello board. Add a little ticket here. And we'll do this today. Fix All right. Now that we've done that, bring to front. I think we'll drop this text completely. Give ourselves a little bit more real estate. Now, let me go back and look at what we got here. So as this stands right now, this would just be injected and sort of floating in there. I'm not sure I'm sold on that, but we'll see once it's there. What we may end up doing is making it styled a little bit more like this, where we have the share and then a little bar and then the icons. That may be something that we end up doing. We then have our examples, which I was trying to debate what content I want on the actual page. And I'm thinking I don't necessarily want to put all of this into here and just inject it. I think one ad right after the video is fine. I don't want to, like, I wanted to have 2 ads on a page tops, and in the bar here was where 2 of them were going to be. But I think I'm okay doing something like this. Yeah. Okay. So next thing that we do is let's just unlock this. I'll just put it all in here. All right, now that we've done that, let's go our recommended books, because these books are going to be affiliate links also that are relevant, but they nonetheless are affiliate links. Bring to front. Cool. How's it going, man? All right, so we have our books. I'm not too worried about setting this up so that this looks good. Because we already got our design for it. I'm just putting it on here. The use of as in a TS file you have used, it forces an assignment. So like, if I had it something that for whatever reason my compiler thought was a different type than what it is, I could force it, even though the computer thinks it's a boolean, or the TypeScript thinks it's boolean. I could tell TypeScript, no, this is a number, so I could assign it as a number. All right. Alright, so that's like that. Alright, cool. 3 of them. This is actually going to eventually come from these courses, based on your topic, will eventually come from the Udemy API, but and a hard-coded list of like what I want to personally recommend, like my own courses or somebody else's that I like, but also all right, then so now we do our oops so I think how this is gonna go is something like this. Oh my god, just bring all of this to the front. Oh my goodness. So this will be in the center still to take us to the top of the page. Then have this to bring to the front. Just one like this. Then below that we will have our bring to front. Then we'll have our social media, and then we'll have this wrap like. I think it's okay. I don't have any issues with that, and I think it'll all work. Cool. So what do we give up on the mobile? We don't have the rest of this sidebar. The sidebar is non-existent. We gave up the Facebook group. And we gave up the shout out to our support and our buy a course. I think that's fine. I'm somewhat okay with that. So given what we did here, what are we going to do? We're going to have a video. We're going to have an ad right between the video and the playlist. We're going to have create a mobile nav. We're going to have to fix this. We're going to have an ad right at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, cool. I gotta go pee real quick, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into a couple things that we need to handle for the now that we know what we want the mobile page to look like. We're gonna handle that, and then we're going to make some changes, and I think we're gonna probably tackle this mobile navigation and fix all that. So it'll be fun. All right. Cool. So let's all right, so from a desktop perspective, remember we're doing desktop first for this application. I'm pretty happy with what we got going on here. This is I mean, we have to put some content in here, but this is what I wanted from my desktop. From a mobile perspective, we're not there yet. But you get the idea of what we're going for here. We have to clean this video up. We have to clean. So basically, the last major thing, styling-wise, from a desktop perspective, is I want to clean up this video doc component and this playlist and this video. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen for that. And like I have to build this whole dynamic video component, which I found a great example on because you're injecting the embed on here. So there's a few things that we'll be doing for that. Now, what I want to do now is I want to handle some of the ugliness that is our mobile experience. And part of that is gaining more real estate by eliminating this app side nav. And that's going to be a little bit difficult. But not impossible. So, before we do anything else, let's commit what we have. We're in a good, clean working state. Alright, so now that we've done that, before we do anything, what I want to do is make this component here, our breadcrumbs component, I want to make it fixed. So excuse me, position. Let's see. It may be as simple as just doing that. And then we just have to handle that. What did I put on this one? I wonder if it's because it's part of our grid that it's blowing up. So what if we take grid area breadcrumbs off, and we do position fix top 0. Let's see here. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I think we might have to go into let's go here real quick. And what we want to do is we're gonna gut this out. I wonder if it'll let us do that. I don't think it's gonna let us do that. But we'll do display block position fixed top 0. Let's see if we'll do that. Why do you hate? Oh no, it did do it. Sort of. Oh, you know, it did it. And then for whatever reason it stops right around here. Why does it? So strange. All right. I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't really care all that much. We can always come back to it. There's a bug ticket for it. I think. It goes back to this thing of screen real estate. Like, we stopped having this be fixed. And honestly, nowadays, do you even want anything fixed? That's a whole nother conversation where, like, I don't think we do. Okay. So, there are a couple ways that we can tackle this. Let's look at our nav. Hey man, are you gonna be around later to do some UI UX stuff? Question mark. Okay. So I'm looking at our side nav component.html, side nav component.scss. And I think we can throw this back on here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hey Gator. Hey big boy. How you doing? Hey pups. Wanna come sit in Daddy's lap? Come on, lap puppy. Come on, get up here. Come on. Oh, oh, sugar boy. Oh. Good puppy. Good puppy. Get out of here. Here, you have a water bottle. He comes up here to chew on empty water bottles. Here you go. Get her, there you go. Oh, they have to be empty. He keeps on grabbing partially full ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and do something like this. So, let's write a media query real quick. So instead of 100% view height on our nav, he's just like a baby bear, yeah. You guys should, dude, it's crazy to think how fast that dog has grown. We've had him for like, he's like 11 months old. This is him like 8 months ago. Yeah. That's my boy. That's my boy Gator right there. Happy pup. And then we got Boise. like God, maybe 2.5 months ago, and she's 25 pounds already. Yeah. Okay. So. What I want to do here is I want to... The position fix is fine. The width of 50 pixels. Alright, so let's start by just overriding some of the CSS. So background color. None. Transparent. All right. The next thing is we will have our UL have a display of none. We don't want UL. We want our LIs to have a display of none. Cool. And then we want our we have an HR. So our H, is that nested within the UL? Yes, it is. So HR have a display of none. All right. So the question becomes, what are you feeding that thing's baby puppies? Take them down to the dog rings every weekend. I said, go on and eat, boy. It's like, you don't win, you don't eat, Gator. No, just puppy food, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much he weighs now. We weighed him about a month ago at the vet. He was 70 pounds, and he's coming up on a year, and that's when they start to slow down growing wise. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, so this is fixed. The issue I'm having, this is the issue I'm having right now, is that, let's go here, is what you'll see will be, the problem is our tab is gonna get in front of it. So even though this is fixed proportionally, if we go to our category, right? So we go to our category container, we have a margin left of 50 pixels. that's all fine and dandy when we take that off, but what it ends up happening is this is going to run into our tabs here, which, I mean, that's not cool. So we have to decide how it is that we want to go about. I mean, we could take that off, but then do I make this smaller? But then it looks kind of crowded. What are we doing here? You know? My gut says that we are going to go to that category container and take that off at certain. Gator, you just had 2 bottles. He's over here getting greedy. He wants more bottles. Like, finish the ones you chew. He lightly chews them and just goes back for more bottles. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And because this is gonna, I think we're gonna swap this out with a open close thing. Yeah. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. I know what we're doing now. So let's go to category component to SCSS, and then here in our we have this topic category container. Let's go and copy this, margin left 50 pixels, and we'll just do this, and then make this a little bit more specific by nesting it. And then we'll say margin dash left 0. That should do it. So that's a little bit right on top of it. Now we could solve this issue by it being in the top right. You just finished episode 5 today? No worries, man. So we don't want to be too close to this tab. But they definitely got to line up if we're going to have that tab look. I mean, I guess it doesn't, right? Like, we're basing a lot of the UI off of how it would, like, VS Code. And, like, let's say that this was the icon and this lined up. It just needs to... All we really have to do is adjust the breadcrumbs. So let's take a look at our here. So the UL, take margin dash top 0. Okay. And then right here, we'll do a margin dash right 20px. Actually, that's not going to do anything because it's fixed, isn't it? But instead, if we go to, now that we've done that, and we go to our breadcrumb, we just need to, on here, say we have a nice margin dash left of 50 pixels. I don't know why that blew up. Margin dash left 50px 10p. All right, So we're getting close. We just now have to sync this so that it looks like it's centered, and then it will look a little bit nicer. So let's go back to our side nav. And in this case, we'll do a margin dash top 10px. Actually, margin top 0 was what we did, right? And then for the JavaScript, let's go to there. That is our breadcrumbs component. And close that. Add media, screen, and let's see how that looks. That's not bad. I think we need it a little bit bigger though. A little bit farther out. And then let's do margin dash top 10px. I'm just trying to get it lined up a little bit. All right, cool. So I think that looks pretty good to where now you can see that, hey, this is our this will take you to the home page. But when you click that, we don't want to take you to the home page, but when you click it, we want it to bring out what it is that we want. This looks like it's a little too far out from the side now that I'm looking at it. Our LI, our logo LI, our LI in general, I'd be okay with doing like 10px. And maybe, yeah, we're gonna play around with that padding. So let's go back. And instead, on our LIs, we'll do 10px and padding top. Alright, refresh this real quick. Now if we do that, then we have to adjust the breadcrumbs. And how does that look if we do this looks a little thicker, but I think it's fine. Oh, it doesn't line up though. I didn't catch that. So if we do padding top 10 pixels, that's fine, but then we have to make sure our UL height 100%. All right, you know what? We can tweak this later. Let's actually just get the nav to come out, and then once the nav's out, we can start playing around with it, because I probably want to get Ricky's input on this anyhow. Because basically what we have to do is we have to inject another div here, or something like that, so we don't have it all blowing up here. But all right, anyhow, you get the idea. We've created our navigation icon, which is currently our logo, but we'll decide if we want to swap that in or swap that out. I don't really know yet. But next, what we want to do is let's go back to our, before this used to open a navigation, but now we've put display none on everything. And now what we want to do is if it is closed, so instead of actually this routing us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this route us, and then all right. So when I click, so what we're going to do is a side nav that comes out about 80% of the way, I'd say. So let's go back to here. Open menu. So when I click, click anywhere on here, it's going to open. Just click that. So then this is going to close menu. But what we need to do is set the z index of this, so we need to set a background color. So so we're going to have this class is open. And this is going to do a couple things. So this will be equal to is closed, but the opposite, right? So something like that. And now we need to decide what is open is. So what is it that we want to happen? We click this, and it's going to open this, but that creates an issue where, first off, let's go ahead and on our UL, our nav, set a background dash color to white and a z hash index to 2. I think it's triggering it. I think we're just not. Our CSS may have gotten a little bit tweaked. Let's go back to our CSS. And we have this is open class I want to apply. So given that our nav and it has a is open, go ahead and set it back to this. That'll be the first thing we do. Cool. So that works. Although our Our closing's not working. So let's see if close menu is actually getting fired off. Oh, it is. All right, so we definitely just broke something in our CSS. And instead of having all this, let's just use the not selector. I think we can do and colon not dot is open. All right, so nice. So you see we have our, our navigation that open. Now all we have to do is now all we have to do is figure out why our close isn't working. So we open the menu. And then we're supposed to close the menu. That's how this is supposed to work. It doesn't want to do that. Why not, dog? Why don't you want to close? Alright, so you know what? Alright, so we have is closed here. Now it says open. It still is open. So open menu is so why is open is equal to not is closed? So somehow our secondary class here you know what? I bet it's because we're assigning it this way. We have two class assignments here, and I bet they're interacting with each, causing issues. So when we... I see. You see how we're logging both of these? This is my mistake. I put the click on the wrong thing. Now, I don't want it to do what it just did right there. I want it to transition seamlessly, like we were doing before. So that's not smooth, it's just very abrupt. So That's true. I don't like how that, like, this looks better, but I don't like how it jumps down. It's a little bit jarring. So I suppose we just change that logo to be a hamburger icon, and then we don't have an issue with it, right? Because it's unrelated. What do you guys think? You think we should use something like the ellipses? I've always really liked this a little bit better than the hamburger icon, but you know, bars are probably a little bit more standard. All right, so first thing, the hamburger icon. It's a little bit too big, so let's play around with the size on that real quick. That's much better. All right, nice. Now for the logo. For the logo. What we want to do is put display none when we are in mobile. And then the image. So we have UL, then we have our LI, right? And then within our LI, hashtag logo. Killing me, Smalls. Nav UL. Nav UL LI image. And if it's not open, I don't want to see it. Alright, you know what? Style.display equals. So if this. Oh, well, I don't want to do it in here because. My goodness. Come on! What is going on here? Alright. ID equals logo dash img. Getting frustrated with these selectors. Okay. Doesn't look too bad. So we got our navigation working for mobile. And let's make sure we didn't break anything in desktop. Broke everything in desktop. Building navigations are always a pain in the ass. Alright, so we have nav ul li. Nav ul li logo I. Alright, so that means our selectors are wrong, so that's not showing up. Oh, I see. don't see actually. So if it's not open, what the hell? This is driving me nuts right now. This little. So we have our nav. Then we have your li, then an ID, an I, and then it has the class FOSS, slash bars. It's not open, so we want to display it. Why you hate me, CSS? Oh my god. So we have nav, we have a UL, we have an LI. Let's go down here. We have a media query, we have a nav, we have a UL, we have an LI. All right. Active route. Got it. Took me a second, but I got it. Okay. Cool. Navigation works. This needs to go to the home page though. And probably do one or two more small tweaks. Router link. We're gonna put this on the image as well. Not the prettiest nav I've ever made. And whenever you select one of them, I want this to call close menu. On this, I want this to call close menu on this. And same thing for these. Alright, cool. Let's commit that. All right. Chipping away. How long have we been going? About 3 hours? I can probably keep going a little bit. Little bit. I think what we have to do now is clean up the category page to be more mobile friendly. I think it's the video that's stretching this out and this. Okay, I know what I need to do. So to fix this, we have to handle how we're going to have all this stuff work with a mobile item. And then we're going to... so we're going to use a different way of using grid. And then we're going to have to handle this responsive video, which we haven't had a chance to do yet. So once we have that, we should have a fully responsive site. Oh, and the footer. That shouldn't be too bad though. But all right, let's leave it at there. I think 3 hours is a good session. I'll probably be back later today or tomorrow. I have to take care of some YouTube stuff, some Udemy stuff, some content creation stuff, all the usual stuff. But we made some good progress on here to meet those like mobile market sort of demand that we're expecting to have. I don't think it's too bad. Gotta keep tweaking with it, but it's getting pretty close there in terms of what we expect, what our expectations are with it, I would say. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my Udemy courses. There are links in the description below. You can get them for just $9.99, and I'll see you guys next time.